That's fine. He just had that. I actually, I feel. Hi, you. Congratulations.
What was?
You know, I do not see it. I have said.
You have your meeting audio on, maybe?
The only thing that changed was that I logged on with my laptop, but I just turned.
Yeah, if you just muted the audio on that, you should be fine.
Yeah. You're not logged in?
I'm just going to sign in right now.
Right.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So that's on the agenda.
Good. How are you? How are you? What do you mean? Like
We can send an email.
yeah. So if you want, we just, I think just started this, or we just more clearly defined it. You can send an email, but in your email clearly state you want it read on record, and it'll still be time boxed to 2 minutes. So whatever, I assume the mayor would read it, and then whatever she can get in 2 minutes.
The city council. To the president.
I mean, it's totally up to you,
Yeah.
but we're not that scary. Not everyone is. Yeah, it's a surprising mix. Oh,
like I'm just
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's terrifying.
okay.
No. Yeah, yeah,
Looking down on this.
yeah. It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Anyways, and so I was gonna say, so we have to, so I think I was gonna say, do we have to talk about what's on the agenda? If there's like, let's say I don't
No.
feel like I wanna do it tonight, but I wanna do it next week.
Yeah.
Next 2 weeks, is it okay to do it? that
Totally.
week? They're gonna adopt it tonight, right?
It's currently on the docket to discuss, review, and potentially vote on tonight. That doesn't mean it will.
Because during my first meeting here, which you hadn't been, you were elected actually for council then, and neither was the mayor and also. And so they asked to amend the agenda. Can I ask that you guys amend the agenda to give us time?
That wouldn't be an amendment.
More time than
Not really, no.
It's called the resolution.
Be good. I'll try to
Um,
be more organized before I get there.
well, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. My plan is already to kick it back to a committee. And yeah. It didn't go through the committee I think it needed to. Yeah, I went through Public Works, which makes sense. Shelley, who sits on the end, Shelley, the council person. We had multiple Shelleys. She was the one who proposed the resolution to be created, and she's on Public Works. And so it makes sense that it went through that committee, but it should have also gone through the General Government Committee, in my opinion, because it's general. Yeah, I'm on it.
Wait, that's not.
It's just a council. Yeah, it's just,
That's what I'm.
yeah, it's not a public one. It's just, yeah. Everyone's got a different opinion on things.
So.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if we could do that.
Okay.
Yeah, just because it's like the standard pledge of allegiance versus like a separate. Yeah, we do take an oath to the city of Cheney if that helps. We both did that.
But don't know.
I mean, I still feel like it backs up choices that happen on council if someone speaks to it.
Let me know if you
So-
want to add HR over here.
Either way,
The chief
yeah.
secretary panels. But take a look at that when you get a
Well,
second. Let
yeah.
me know if we need to.
Sure. No, I think I mean, I think it seems reasonable enough. And honestly, yeah, no, this is.
Okay.
This is
So I figured
a lot.
2 days for
Yeah.
entry. My gut tells me.
I'll ask you where when you're not busy.
We have.
Yeah. No, I yeah, because so far we've only heard comment that's.
So we've got 7 or 8 entries that have to provide from text.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
You're, yeah, just breathe.
Maybe I could say, hey, you know,
Right.
does the March
We
Wednesday?
each get contingency
Right.
Push you out to give you
Yeah.
the ability
We
to
did.
travel.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just to give
absolutely.
that fair.
I'm just gonna start hearing his tangent.
I agree with that.
You're gonna do what?
Yeah,
It's-
I
I
mean,
just
think this seems
can.
reasonable.
I still haven't given it back from the lasagna. Just,
Just gotta keep it in your car.
yeah,
I'll look at it more. in
today's
depth,
solidified.
but
I need to
mean,
keep it in my car.
You could just bring it in and like leave it under the desk. I guess we're not the only ones who use it, but still.
Judge Leland gets here, he's like, what is this? I just feel bad because it's been months. Like Dimitri's 4 months old now.
He also knows where you live for the,
That is true.
so it's a two-way street.
Hello, how's it going?
You look like you've been busy. I see you on Facebook.
All over the place.
Yeah.
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 Trying to take advantage of some extra time I have.
Oh,
You know.
good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well do it while I can.
Yeah, it's fun to see the things you're doing. The going.
Feeling better?
Yes, just in time for the next round. So it's the very
Yeah.
part of the house. I'm like, lovely.
Yeah, you're gonna say.
I knew that as soon as they went back to daycare, though, I was like, oh,
It's coming.
it's coming.
You're just building up their immune system.
Exactly. That's why I look at it. Like, it's probably better for them. That way, when they start in like kindergarten and stuff, and they're in public school, it won't be as bad. Very stressed because they will have had a few years to build up that like immune response. And those are freaking adorable, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
He's just so darn cute.
It's so cute. He's just busy these days.
Well, yeah, is he starting to move around? He's like crawling and.
And he's like, I kind of like. He's not at
Kind of growing
in
in
a place
place
with
with
the world unless he is just free.
Yeah, it's touchscreen. And then what happens is like.
But at the same
and,
time, I want to do
Screen on this mouse.
That's always the worst when it's like you're picking them up and they just kind of like launch themselves out of your arm.
So I've been ready to
the
go.
last couple of weeks.
Yeah,
No,
like
it used to just be.
Yeah, keyboard lamp.
Mhm.
But now it's push. I still.
Oh, God.
So it's just like so.
I have it all set up in the
Pretty-
docking station
much better.
at home.
You gotta really hold on to it, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's saying you use that, wondering.
I do have a laptop. Starting to.
And
So
and-
fun stuff.
Sometimes I'm like, I need-
Oh, walking right from the.
Yeah,
And
you
the
know,
white
it's
was
beautiful if you play.
So I can have these. So
So
yeah.
yeah.
Unless, I mean, you can.
I took,
do so-
Al had a smoke on his head, and I was really freaking out about it. My doctor's like,
Not too bad.
he's fine.
Yeah.
He just has a thick skull and he's a
Some
little,
of the newer
I'm like,
ones are
okay.
nice.
I worry about it.
Not.
With Zach, though, everyone's like, super hurt. I was so young when I had it. I was just like every little thing. Just like, oh my gosh, I was super taken.
Mark, how's it going?
And that would last few months.
I
Yeah, all right, we're good. Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, exactly. I'm always like, look at the people's face. How do you people's looking?
know that's
You
me.
walk in the street.
I know it's
See,
you.
that's-
Concussion.
I don't think it's a.
Yeah.
Hello, I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, February 24th. Thank you all for being here. Will you give us a roll call, please?
I would be happy to. Honorable Mayor Martin,
Present.
Councilmember Han,
Present.
Councilmember Martell,
Present.
Councilmember Kutzma,
Present.
Councilmember Wong,
Present.
Councilmember Nazaro.
Here.
Councilmember Bealock,
Here.
Councilmember Labar.
Here. Thank you. We're going to begin with citizen comments, and before we do that, I want to read the listing of comments we received this past couple weeks. On the 16th, we received some comments on fire truck manufacturers from Citizen DeLucci, and also on the 18th from Citizen DeLucci about cybercrime. So we will go with those who have signed up to speak tonight, for those who are here. And just a reminder, when you come up, will you please state your name and your address for the record? And then you have 2 minutes to speak and we'll just time it on the timer. So first up, we have Ms. Wiseman. Thank you.
Jill Weissman, Cheney, Washington. You guys have my address. I just want to say welcome and thank you again for what you're doing. And I just want to speak one more time on Pledge of Allegiance on Resolution F473 that's on your agenda tonight. And I want to say thank you to the Public Works Department for bringing this forward. And I would highly suggest that this be passed. And that's about all I really want to say about it, because it is something that is important and should be maintained in our meetings. So that's all I want to say. So thank you.
Thank you. And then we have Elisa DeLucci. And again, just state your name, your address for the record.
Okay, no worries. Oh, she just wanted to yield her extra time over to me anyways, just in case.
Go ahead.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, mayor and council. If it pleases you, the reason I didn't realize we were getting hack attacked. That's what I called it at the last meeting. And that's happening like on a very rapid rate in the state of Washington. And the FBI, the supervising special agent for the FBI Seattle District's office is requesting that you guys report it. Report it before, report it after, so then they can start keeping track. And if it's a group, then they'll be able to track them a lot quicker. And if it's, more small time stuff or whatever, it'll still be on reports. But just to kind of protect you guys, please, make sure that you report it. But I'm here to talk about also Resolution F-473, the Pledge of Allegiance. I respectfully request that you guys bring back the Pledge of Allegiance because it is a part of our history. Martha Washington was the first lady, George Washington's wife, and she was the first one to make a flag out of hemp. And it's just a part of our history. It's who we are. And whether, it's not, I get the whole politics, the Democrats and Republicans fighting over a bunch of crap. It's like mommy and daddy in a horrible divorce, and we, the children, are the pawns. But this is a part of our history. This is who we are. This is the foundation and the essence of our land. And so I respectfully request that you guys re-implement the flag salute or the Pledge of Allegiance tonight. Please and thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Before we move to online, do we have anyone online
We do
wishing to
have,
comment? Okay.
Margot Buckles.
And I think we
Okay.
have one more in person.
Allowed her.
Okay, let me just write that down. Before we do that, is there anyone who did not sign up who would like to speak? We'll have you come up first, and then we'll have yeah. So will you tell us your name for the record and your address?
My name is Oshana. I forgot my own address. I'm so nervous.
All right.
And also
You can just say, you can say your street.
I am here to oppose the Pledge of Allegiance. In it, it states one nation under God. We are not one nation. We are made up of many nations, including First Nations. And so therefore, I feel like the pledge is inherently racist. It's a pretty hard topic to talk about. I am First Nation, and I was harassed throughout middle school, high school for being so, mocked and made fun of throughout school. And I did attend Cheney High School. Furthermore, when I was in elementary school, we had people in my class who had to sit down during the Pledge of Allegiance because their religion didn't allow them to. I'm sorry, I'd be so shaky. Anyways, I think I'm gonna pass out. Their religion did not allow them to pledge their allegiance to anything other than, I'm talking about Jehovah's Witness, so. And also it does bring in God into our public sector, which I believe that God should be in your heart, it should be in your church, but I do not believe it should be part of city council. If you want to pledge any allegiance, I think it should be to the residents of Cheney who elected you. I didn't come prepared to speak tonight because I didn't realize there'd be people speaking in support of it, but I appreciate you letting me. And I hope that we can find a process that is respectful of all races and religions and the ability to abstain from religion within our public process. Is that okay?
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. And then.
Good evening. Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. Good evening, Bonnie Mager, 15220 West Dairy View Lane. Thanks for giving me the opportunity. I just was wanting to know, I'm getting very anxious about the map that was supposed to, Nexus was supposed to supply the city for the increased urban growth boundary for the adjustment. And I'm wondering if anybody knows if that map, when that map's going to show up so that you have something to submit to the county. I listened to the meeting from last night and heard that Scott Chesney saying that they were sympathetic to our plight and that they were going to support. And I'm not sure what support means. And without a map, I think that we're heading perilously to the end of this process without what we need in order to establish that adjustment to the boundaries. So I don't know, Todd, do you have?
I can check with Terry Morning to see, but he's been kind of.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much. Thank you.
All right, and then we have someone online, correct, Shelley? Take your time.
Stop this. Okay, Margot, I have unmuted Margot, so she should be able to go.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Okay, great. My name is Margot Buckles. My address is 15205 South Golden Eye Lane, Cheney, Washington. And I'm actually kind of reiterating what Bonnie Mager just said. I wanted to let you know that I submitted a records request to the City of Cheney back in November of 2025, asking for all communications between the city or from the City of Cheney to Spokane County regarding the comprehensive plan. And as of today, I've received 16 documents, 2/3 of which are responsive to my request. There really was only one that was substantive in terms of Cheney communicating with the county about the comprehensive plan. It was an analysis by Nexus. And basically, I'm shocked actually that in this important process regarding the comprehensive plan and Cheney's ability to grow over the next 20 years or so, there has not been a lot of communication. And I feel that the City of Cheney has abdicated its responsibility to its citizens in regard to the comprehensive plan, and time is running out. In county meetings, they say that they're going to make decisions regarding the comprehensive plan in December of this year. And I think that Cheney's time to control its growth narrative is diminishing. And I think that it's a disservice to the citizens of Cheney. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else online who would like to provide comment? Okay. Thank you. All right, next item of business is our meeting minutes from our February 10th regular city council meeting. Have you all had an opportunity to review those?
Mayor, move to approve the meeting minutes from February 10th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, our next item of business is vouchers and payroll, and our finance director is out today. Oh,
I'm taking that one
thank
for you.
Ms. Gomez.
2025 voucher total of $11,629.71. 2026 voucher total of $1,821,236 and 49. And February 10th payroll, since it's split in two now, is about half of total. So that's $651,074.23.
And the Finance Committee has reviewed the vouchers and payroll as presented, and I make a motion.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve our vouchers and payroll. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the motion carries. You can see there's the only small contract that I approved this month. So we will move all the way down to I. I don't believe we have any information items, correct? Todd? Okay. So all the way down to our action items. And the first thing, I think it's all you. This is the Todd Abelman show. So
Greg's here, so I will try to do my best in covering these three. So the first
resolution is Resolution F473 regarding the Pledge of Allegiance.
Certainly, this was discussed in the Public Works and Utilities Committee meeting, and they have requested to bring back a resolution. So we have drafted a resolution for discussion tonight. And I would be happy to try to facilitate any questions you may have, but I think I will leave it up to council for their discussion.
Yeah, so in Public Works, we discussed this and all agreed to bring this as a resolution. And it was prompted, I did notice when we first started this year that we weren't saying the Pledge of Allegiance, and then it was prompted by some community comment. And so I thought about when I was running or thinking about running and I was coming to meetings. And the Pledge of Allegiance really for me at that time helped people settle into the room. It reminded them that we're here under the United States Constitution, state, federal, local laws, and that we're here to do the work of Cheney residents, not our own political beliefs, not what's going to work best in our neighborhood. And so I always appreciated it. It felt like a unifying time where people came together, centered around the work that's done in city council. And so, like I said, I had noticed it. And then when it was brought through citizen comment, it made sense to me that we would bring a resolution.
That kind of sounds like a motion.
I do have a question. Yep. First, so this feels like I understand why it went through Public Works as you were bringing it forward. But I also wonder why it didn't go through our general government committee, since it feels like it's impacting the agenda, which is like more general, and outside of the scope of what I would expect Public Works to generally be focused on. And so I guess I would request, just from a process perspective, and I'm not necessarily opposed or anything to the bringing it back, but just from a process perspective and making sure we're following, proper procedure, that we would actually kick it back to go to general government so that we can talk about it there, and then bring it back to council at the meeting after that.
Does that mean that people on the Public Works Committee can only make resolutions related to Public Works? Is that what it?
Yeah.
To me, like the Public Works Committee, like, I guess we don't have this well defined, right? So that's one of the things we're working on, is defining and scoping everything. But Public Works, to my understanding, is responsible for like infrastructure, planning, Public Works related things, buildings, zoning, things like that. General government is like rules, processes, procedures, and it can go through multiple things. Like we have ordinance that we've requested that went through general government and public safety, right? Because it was kind of a joint thing. So to me, I guess it could go through both, but it should also definitely go through general government, just because it's a rules and process thing.
Councilmember Bartels.
My stance on this is a council member has the right to bring a resolution forward. And this, again, has been in the process for, I think Ms. Wiseman mentioned 140 years. I haven't fact checked yet, but a long time. And again, we talked about it at a subcommittee with 3 council members. I don't think there was any disagreement. So if somebody, I'm not going to steal any thunder here, but if there's a motion made, I think that's totally different.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. We'll let everyone comment first.
I was just gonna kind of comment back to what we heard earlier in public comment. I know that there seems to be this really strong hold to this particular pledge as being something that we've done for 140 years. I did fact check that, though. It has not been 140 years. If we are going based off a tradition, it was initially set up to indoctrinate immigrant children so that they could assimilate into our culture. that is kind of at odds with things that we now hold to be, valuable in our society. As well as if you guys looked up the Bellamy salute, because this was proposed by Mr. Bellamy, you might be quite appalled at what some of the original history of this particular pledge was. So again, like what Councilmember Long pointed out, I'm not against saying the pledge, but I do feel like it is very important that we understand the actual history of this and the impacts that it may have on people in our community. Additionally, I'm not the biggest fan of starting all of our meetings by standing up and turning my back on the community to pledge allegiance to the federal government when I signed an oath to the Constitution of the Fed, the state, and the people of Cheney. So if we are going to do this, I would like to see a flag at the back of the room so that those of us at the dais are not turning our backs on the community at the beginning of our meetings. Thank you.
So it sounds like some of this goes back to our council rules, right? Which it sounds like we'll have discussion about, because I have thoughts about all of that. So I guess I would make a motion to approve so that people can vote if there are no further comments on resolution F473.
Second.
There is a motion and a second for approval of resolution F473. And if there are no further comments.
I have a comment.
Okay.
Yeah. I think I just want to say something about the pledge too, that I think is important because I think in some ways it's gotten a little misconstrued. I don't think the pledge is a political statement. The pledge doesn't care who the president is. Pledge doesn't care. It doesn't mean you're in alignment with the president, and it does not have a political party attached to it. It's a statement about life and how we think as a people we should do life together. And for that reason, I think there's some inherent apolitical things in the pledge. Like, we believe in a republic. And when you go back to the history, you have to remember our nation became something completely different on the planet. Everything on the planet in the context of 1776 was either a democracy, a dictatorship, an emperor, or a monarchy. And so we were saying something completely different. We were saying we want the power in the way that we do life together here to be bottom up, not top down. And that was a huge statement. And I think that's still a good statement today. I like that statement today. I don't want power to be top down. I want power to be bottom up. And we're saying we believe we're one nation. We believe that we all should do life in unity together. Now, have we always done that as a country? Not at all. We have not gotten this right. But should we get it right? Yes, we should. We should say that we should try the best we can to be in unity with one another. And I believe that we should do life in what's best for all of us, not what's best for one of us. The pledge does say under God. And in particular, I think this is huge. The pledge says that humanity is under God, not above God, not equal to God, under God. It's the same thing that the Declaration of Independence says, by the way. All men are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among them are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I like this statement because it says we're all equal. And the next statement is we're indivisible, which means we're not divided. In fact, the dictionary definition is we're incapable of being divided. And that's how we should live together. We should not live against one another. We should live for one another. And so it's interesting that unity is affirmed twice in the pledge. Why? Because every nation that has ever failed on this planet failed from within, not from without. We fail when we don't have unity together. We fail when we're not kind and gracious and loving to one another. That's how we fail. And so we need to be indivisible on those things. We should believe in liberty. We should declare that everyone has a right to be free. And whoever isn't free, we should fight to make them free in our own country. It's not our job everywhere on the planet, by the way, I don't think. But it's our right here. And when somebody isn't free, we should make them free. And then lastly, justice for all. We're pledging that the truth should always win, that no one is above the law, and that every citizen should be treated fair and right, no matter how much money you have. That was a huge, huge statement in 1776, because only the people who had money had justice. We were making a bold, bold statement at that time. So I think the pledge is a statement about life and how we think we should do life together as people. It's way bigger than politics. So I want to encourage us not to make the pledge a political statement. I don't think it is. I think it's a statement about how we should just do life together. It's an idea. The United States, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, the pledge, all these things, they're a grand idea. And if we don't hold them together, they will fall apart and we will fall apart too. And so I think the pledge is just a good reminder. And I think it's a good reminder because I think today we've made it a political statement. It's not a political statement. It's about a way to do life together in unity with one another. And so I think it's a good reminder for that reason. Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else have a comment? All right, so there's been a motion and a second for the passage of resolution F473. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
All right, so the motion carries to begin the Pledge of Allegiance at city council meetings. I would also ask that we get a flag on the back wall or somewhere so that those up here do not have to turn and face the flag behind them.
Or both.
Both. We can have an additional flag.
Your Honor, what was the vote on that?
6-1. I'm sorry, should have asked for abstentions. All right, let's move on to resolution F474.
Yeah, on January 27th, you heard a presentation basically about the homeless and MOU to approach it for more of a regional approach. I apologize, I was not at that meeting, but I'm bringing this forward just because some of the council committees wanted to bring this forward, put into a resolution, and you all see the MOU. It's been ran through legal. It's not a hard obligation by any means, but it's just joining more of a regional approach. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Anyone have some comments on this MOU?
I have a question, Todd.
Mhm.
So I know we talked about this in the general government committee. I honestly don't remember us voting on a recommendation either way, though. And so was wondering if like it's marked as us approving it, but I think my understanding of our committee would be we wouldn't have approved it.
Okay. Yeah, I apologize. I thought we were, when the discussion was that it's something that we wanted to bring, at least address whether we approve it or not, bring it in front of the council committee.
Okay, then maybe it's just confusing on the recommendation. It says
Yeah.
that the
Yeah,
committee
if you
recommended it.
want me to just say that it wasn't really an approval of the meeting, we can at least take that out of there.
Does it say recommended to be brought to the council or
Just
recommended?
recommended.
Okay, maybe you can recommend it be brought to council. Could be added. Okay. Is there any other comments?
Your Honor, if there are no other comments, I would make a motion for approval of F474.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second for approval of F474, the MOU for an approach to homelessness. Those in favor of passing?
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? Right, the motion carries. Which brings us to our last resolution, which is F.
I'm
Sorry.
interrupt you, but could I guess my hearing's not that good. Could
I
we
can
get,
talk a little louder.
no,
Oh.
you're doing fine. I just, on the vote, I didn't catch.
Sure.
What was the
I believe it's 5-2.
5-2? Okay, thank you.
Yes. Even if you have great hearing, you can always ask for that to be
No,
repeated.
thank-
I will just make it a habit to say that. Resolution F475, the West Plains Aquifer Protection Area. I believe that this is a Public Works item, but
Yeah,
Mr.
Dan-
Ferguson is out of town.
Yeah, Dan is on vacation, so I'm going to go ahead and step up the aquifer protection area. Basically what this is that It's kind of a group effort to sign on our support for the aquifer protection where the county will run basically a ballot to ask for funds, and those funds will kind of be distributed throughout the county. I would believe it'd be focused more on the West Plains, and it is related to the impact of PFAS to that end. So this is just basically it's an agreement to join the county to have these funds. Now, we don't run our special election. They run the election on that. And this is what we do is we just, if it passes, then there is some continuing funding to address the PFAS in the region. So.
Yes.
And really this resolution is for us to say that we support it goes out on the ballot. I had a brief conversation with Ben Bradabo when they came and gave us the informational item. There was a little bit of discussion about a couple of our wells are outside of that voting precinct, that map that's shown in our packet. And basically, I think where they ended up was didn't want to open up the precinct, but there would be a provision for the city of Cheney that if we wanted to allocate, again, assuming it passes the vote, and if there were funds that were dedicated to our water system, even though those wells are outside of that map, our boundary, they would be eligible for funds. And I saw an email, the email was sent to me and Dan Ferguson. So with that, I just wanted to make sure that the dais understands that too, that they're sticking with that original map, but we would have that provision that would benefit our wells. Again, this resolution just gets it on the ballot for everybody to decide, everybody in that mapped area. And I think it is in our packet, the map that I'm making reference to, I think.
It's in the presentation, at least from the 27th, if it's not.
Yeah. I guess what I'm saying is I don't think that map has changed. So, and the reason being is that's a pretty large voting district. I think they said that might have almost got a Rock Lake or something. It was a pretty substantial.
Yes.
Am I understanding correctly that, because I'm looking at the map right now, I've got it pulled up. So like Cheney, Medical Lake, Airway Heights, those areas that are already blocked out that aren't given a precinct number on this map, are those not going to be part of the voting for that? Is that what I'm understanding? And that we're all signing up to support it with that provision that we would have infrastructure like help, or?
I guess just for clarification, I mean, what we're voting on tonight is for Cheney boundaries to be on the ballot.
On the ballot.
On the ballot.
But
Yeah.
the entire ballot measure is every voting precinct.
Yeah,
that is
no,
on
I
it.
understood that.
But not, when they came here, I'd ask about a southern precinct and it didn't make sense to add that. So they're sticking with this map, I guess is what I heard.
So are you referring to that little chunk that's like just outside of like the southwest portion of town?
Yes,
Gotcha, okay.
We see 904. I mean, I don't know what that precinct number is, but that's the area I'm making.
Okay.
reference to.
And so let me just make sure I understand. By adding in or making sure there's that understanding that they would basically be incorporated in with Cheney, those couple wells that are just outside of that area, because that area has been testing positive for PFAS. So it's super important that they get included in this. I just wanted to clarify that's what that was the agreement or the understanding.
Well, the understanding was just our wells. If
Okay.
our wells are, I guess, to clarify, the understanding is since we have a few wells that are outside of our city
Correct.
limits.
Yep.
Those are eligible for funding, assuming this ballot measure passes.
Okay, perfect.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
I think maybe we talked about this quite a bit at Public Works as well. I think I'd also just maybe clarify one thing. One, the three of us asked Dan this question, I think twice, just to clarify, like, do we have PFAS in our wells? And the comment was no, we do not. The well that we did have a very low amount in is shut down.
Yeah, I'll correct you on that.
Okay, great.
The well we have received is well 5 when we did the initial test. We have taken that off of our domestic supply. I think it was back in 2020 or 2021. Even though it had low levels, that we could have worked with Department of Health to put that in the system. I think at that time, council decided, no, let's not, just because of the perception until we get through this process. Since then, we have actually went out for what they call a a loan. It basically, it's called a forgivable loan, a grant. So the loan was for 4 million, so we could actually put in a filter system on well 5 to get that PFAS at least treated at the low level that we need. So that has been a progression on well 5. So, yeah.
So just to be clear, Cheney Water does not have PFAS. The one well that had it has been shut down for years.
Yeah, it's been shut down.
Yeah.
If I may.
Yes.
That is technically correct that we turned that well off. But I do want to make sure people understand that that's not how aquifers work. Just because you turned the well off does not mean that the PFAS just magically disappeared from the water beneath our feet. It is still there. And we are seeing increases in PFAS contaminations across the West Plains. So it would be quite proactive of us to go after any sort of funding we can so that when it does inevitably show up in our other wells, because it inevitably is going to, we already have the filtration and the stuff in place to be able to handle it and mitigate it so that we're not dealing with the same things that Medical Lake and Airway Heights are. So.
Is
That-
that what the loan
Yep.
is for? That's what the loan is for?
The loan is for when we first discovered it was discovered in, when we started, the PFAS came up in pretty much the Air Force Base and everything else. We ended up testing all of our wells. Well 5 showed up. We shut it down and then we tested it a second time just to confirm it. At that time, then there's some monies available to try to mitigate these wells. And that's when we went out for the grant or the loan to go ahead and put in a filter. And you're absolutely right. We don't know the time of travel. We don't have that crystal ball. We can't see it travel underground, especially when it's 400, 600, 800 feet deep or even a couple thousand feet deep. All we know is that we start testing, and you're right, there would probably be more wells that will show up. So I think this is just a proactive step and measure. How are we going to mitigate these wells if they show up? So our well 5, we're on track to get that filtered. Any wells in the future that would have this, we would probably hopefully have the funding in place to kind of adapt to where we could treat it.
Right, yeah. Just one more thing, just to, I think, clarify and put it, I agree that that's how an aquifer works, and that it can travel. My understanding, according to Dan, was we're testing all our wells twice a day. And
Twice
that's
a year.
Twice a
very
year,
expensive,
and
yeah.
that's
Yep.
not the case currently. But we should be proactive to make sure that it doesn't become the case, and that if and when it ever did, that we had filtration in place that could handle that.
Yeah, between the 4 or 5 years ago, technology on the filtration system has really advanced because they have put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, we have a lot of options in case, and obviously West Plains is working on a few. We're looking at our municipal wells, which is a larger filtration per the gallons a minute, but they're even looking at basically home filters just to mitigate, because some people are on private wells and they just don't have an answer for that. So there is a whole thing of options we have. But as far as Cheney goes, I think since we do run a tight system, basically a pump system, whenever a well gets contaminated, I think it's important that we should have the funding or the opportunity to fund to filter those wells in the event we get those wells, if they do have PFAS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we got a grant, it wouldn't be a bad thing to just put a filtration on it anyway. Thanks.
Any other comments? Councilmember Bartels. Oh,
I was gonna ask if there are no further comments, just bring it back to this resolution. Again, this brings it to the ballot. That's what we're voting on here. I would make a motion to approve F-475.
Second.
it's a motion and a second to approve resolution F-475 to join the West Plains Aquifer Protection Area. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? So the motion carries 7-0. All right, I do not have any other items of business other than some staff reports.
Certainly. The mayor and I have been working on recruitment as far as the city administrator and the police chief. Happy to announce that we have dialed in the police chief interviews going in on March 3rd, which is Tuesday. It's going to be a 2-panel interview committee. We're going to be interviewing 3 applicants throughout the day. And then we will kind of pause during the afternoon. And then at 6 o'clock at the Wren, we will have kind of a community meet and greet where we will be able to talk to all three of the candidates. And how we kind of structure that is they can kind of give a little bio on themselves, and then we'll break them out into three different crowds and then just kind of rotate. So this is a process that we will work and try to come up with our candidate during that day. So a very busy day, loaded with all sorts of activities. So when we switch gears, we also have reviewed the applicants for the city administrator, and we're looking to tailor the same, pretty much the same process, because the city administrator does get out in the town. So same process as far as interview panels, and then kind of a meet and greet towards the end of the night, so we can have at least a kind of an idea of what we're looking at. So happy to answer any questions. And I think we have it on a tentative schedule to bring that day right around March 19th, unless we slip a week. It's just, it takes a lot to coordinate these type of activities.
Thank you. Any other staff here who would like to give us a report? Okay. Moving on to the mayor's report. Two things. First, I went to Olympia. It might have only been last week, but it feels a lot longer ago than that, which was a great opportunity to meet and network with mayors from all over the state. I came away with two things from that. The first thing is every city has its things that it's working through. And for those of you who are working through things here in Cheney, it could be worse. So that was one thing I came away from, is there's always stuff to deal with. And I'm thankful for the work that's been done in Cheney, because it could be a lot worse. So a lot of that is owed to our council. So thank you for the hard work you're putting in, and then also to our staff who really truly are passionate about our city. And then the second thing I came away with was that we do things the Cheney way here, and there's a lot of other ways that we can do things. And there was just some really great ideas that other cities are implementing to serve their citizens well. And so it kind of made me a little bit excited for some of the things that we could do to serve our citizens here in Cheney well. So it may take a year or two to implement some of those ideas, or to use them to brainstorm ways we can serve our residents, but it was encouraging. And then the last thing is, like Mr. Abelman said, next Tuesday, the public is invited to the Wren Pearson building at 6 p.m. for our police chief meet and greet. And it will be an opportunity for the public to meet and interact with all three candidates that we're interviewing. So with that, I'd like to go with council reports. And since Shelley doesn't always want to go first, we'll start over here with council member Lee.
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you. I do. I attended the Opioid Abatement Council meeting in between last meeting and this one. They're going to be launching a dashboard across the county that's going to track how each municipality and entity is spending those opioid funds. So it's going to be really nice to be able to see what other people are doing, how they're allocating those funds. Maybe we can learn some things from that, whether it's what to do or what not to do. Also at public safety, we discussed using these opioid funds to work with not only our first responders, but also Parks and Rec, and start getting a community response going where we can do education outreach, because we'd really like to focus our use of these funds on prevention and education, and not so much on the other end when they're already in crisis. So we'd like to really tailor it to be focusing on stopping it where it's at and not letting it fester and get worse in our community. Additionally, I have been really, I mean, you guys know that's my thing, is water. Okay. I would love it if we could have a presentation to catch council up on not only just what's going on regionally with PFAS, but maybe a little bit about our wells themselves, the type of well we have, how that is going to impact our ability to filter, the geology and how that's going to impact our response, so that we are taking all of that information into account when we are moving forward with our response to this very much national crisis. This is the largest pollutant contamination the US is going to face. And so it's not going away anytime soon, and turning wells off aren't just going to make the problem magically go away. We need to be educated and proactive about it. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks to everyone who came to Coffee with Council. I thought it was a great opportunity just to dialogue and meet some of you and have you meet some of us. And yeah, hopefully next month is just as great.
Councilmember Long, I believe you have some slides. Are you controlling them?
Not today.
Okay.
Because we switched to webinar, so I'm still letting Shelley do it.
Yeah.
The next time.
Okay.
Yeah. Getting wild.
Yeah, I will. Sorry, I'm going to interject. Last council meeting, you will remember that we had some Zoom issues. And so we are trying a new method, and it has been very peaceful, and we are grateful for that. So thank you. Okay, Councilmember Long.
Okay. Shelley, you can go forward.
I'm sharing it out. so-
Okay. No worries. No rush. Okay. Yeah, so I'm on the General Government Committee. We discussed council rules, which are desperately needed, as discussed at the beginning of this, updates to some city code and how we go about doing that. We discussed social media policy, which Shelley thankfully found a copy for us to play with. And there's two, there's one for council members and one for just general for the city. Yeah, so and then plus the resolutions from tonight we discussed. Okay. I've been attending the Historic Preservation Commission meetings, which has been really interesting to me, trying to dive into learning the history of our city and support that side. Through that, they had a tour of the historic church at Eastern campus, so right next to Kingston, if you all have seen it, kitty corner of Veterans Memorial Park. And we got to go inside. So there's renewed interest at the university of restoring it. And so the university, city, historic preservation folks from the city and from the state all got to go, and I got to kind of tag along with that, which was really interesting to see the inside of it. It was just kind of like locked in time, which was really cool. And then I got a chance to visit the Cheney Historic Museum and check out some of the cool old maps and things that are there, just trying to learn, you know. And then I got an invite to attend the Fire District 3. They had a strategy meeting with different districts included. So I got to tag along with Chief Jenkins, and Mayor Cooper was there from Medical Lake. And then we had the chief from the Valley attending as well. And it was great to meet the Fire District 3 folks and see how they're strategizing for emergency response for the next couple years. It was very reassuring to me to witness, and I'm also very grateful for the folks that are in the public safety space, that they're thinking of all these things and have it covered. Yeah, and then go ahead. And then we took photos. I made everyone take photos at the Coffee with Council. Like Jason said, we had a great turnout. I was really impressed and happy to see folks come and share and speak with us in a more like informal manner. So it was great. It was a lot of fun. So anyway, thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you. Councilmember Postuma.
Nothing for me.
Councilmember Bartels.
I did want to, I guess, talk a little bit about the comp plan. And first I want to recognize we have Mr. Rick Mount here, who has been the chair of the planning commission for I think the past 7 years, has finally stepped aside, still on the planning commission. But they have a pretty big lift, and I just want to appreciate his service for many, many years. The planning commission does have a big lift right now with this comp plan update. And I've mentioned this before, that there does feel to me that there's a little bit of overshadowing on this UGA inclusion. We do have a published land quality analysis where we've looked at the 20-year forecast. We're focused on infill and redevelopment. And there's just this continued push for this little development off of Paradise and Normal Park Road. What I think folks really need to understand is Normal Park Road is a half street. It's almost a half mile long. It's 0.45 miles long, so just under half mile. And Paradise is about a quarter mile, and it terminates at an at-grade rail crossing before you get to 904. And we also discussed this briefly at Public Works, but I would love for the city to be able to give these proposed developers of this UGA spot zone what the actual transportation need would be transition from a half street to a full street and what that looks like, and then see how they can feasibly pay for that. Because I just struggle with the infrastructure cost on that, just that transportation piece of how that could pencil out in terms of that development. And again, I would hope that the city can provide that street detail to these developers and hopefully pose the question, if anything were to develop there, how would one pay for those transportation impacts? So that's all I have.
Councilmember Hahn?
I don't.
Great. With that, our meeting is concluded at 6:59. 6:49. Hey. Thank you all for being here.
Yeah.
Here on time.